Yesterday I left off talking to you about the Illuminati and New Age version of the Christ. Benjamin Creme is a major New Age leader. He might be touted, you might say, as the John the Baptist for the New Age Christ, the Lord Maitreya, who Creme says is already in the world, simply waiting for the right time to manifest His presence. Well, the truth is, there is no such person, and there never will be. For the New Age and the Illuminati version of the Christ is something that dwells within each and every human being, that if they bring it forth and perfect themselves as the temple, then the Christ will manifest itself on earth in humankind. But in the reappearance of the Christ and the Masters of Wisdom, Creme reveals that Freemasonry will play an important part in the return of, quote, the Christ, end quote, whom Christians would call the Antichrist, especially in the initiation ritual for the New Age religion. He says, and this is Benjamin Creme, quote, through the Masonic tradition and certain esoteric groups, remember I told you it's all of the secret societies and fraternal brotherhoods, that's what he means by esoteric groups, will come the process of initiation. And you can interpret that as the brainwashing that you get through the material put out by Walt Disney Corporation, through a visit to the Luxor Hotel and the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and many other things where you go in and while you're staying there actually receive the 3 degrees of initiation of the Blue Lodge and leave, when you do leave, as a Freemason without portfolio. And all of this happens without you even knowing that anything transpired. Same with your children when they watch Walt Disney movies and listen to the songs. They're being inculcated into the beliefs, the dogma of the New Age, of the New World Order, and they are being propagandized into accepting it. And many of you are going to find that hard to believe until you study the symbology and start looking at this stuff with your intellect instead of as some childish little kid cartoons. In this coming age, ladies and gentlemen, millions of people will take the first and second initiation through these transformed and purified institutions, according to Benjamin Creme. Also, in a section of his book containing a transcript of his many lectures, including questions and answer sessions, after speaking about the coming reformation of the churches and Buddhism, he's asked if he believes this reformation, quote, will affect the various secret organizations like the Masons, the Rosicrucians, and so on, end quote. And he answers, and I quote again, very much so. The coming religion, in fact, this coming age will be dominated by magic or ritual or organization. Aquarius has been called the implementing force of synthesis or universality and will bring about synthesis, universality in the world, end quote. What he's talking about is the end result of all the Hegelian dialectic conflicts that are raging around the world, intentionally instigated and controlled by the same group on both sides in order to bring about this magical synthesis, which we already know is going to be Marxist socialism. Note the theme of conjunction spouted by these people. That is synthesis or universality. You'll recall that Albert Pike has said this is Masonry's royal secret to obtain the balance. Now you're going to encounter this concept of mixture repeatedly in the writings of New Age and Masonic authorities. Creme next tells us how the newly synthesized religions will be manifested. The new religions, he says, and I quote, for instance, through organizations like Freemasonry. In Freemasonry is embedded the core of the secret heart of the occult mysteries wrapped up in number. metaphor and the symbol. And I've been teaching you all of these things over the last 5 years. Those of you who were lucky enough to catch this program at the beginning, you have received an education that's worth a lot more than you'll ever know. Wrapped in number, metaphor, and symbol. When these are purified, these will be seen to be a true occult heritage. Through the orders of Masonry, the initiatory path will be trodden and initiation will be taken. End quote. That's in his book on page 87. So not only will the mystery religion be restored, according to Benjamin Creme and many others, but so will the process of initiation. And Creme says, reiterating the theme of the earlier authorities that I quoted, this new religion will be universal, a conjunction of the East and West, a synthesis of the conflicts of the world. He says, on page 88 and 89 of his book, quote, a new world religion will be inaugurated, which will be a fusion and synthesis of the approach of the East and the approach of the West. The Christ will bring together Christianity and Buddhism in a new scientific religion based upon the mysteries, on initiation, on invocation. Remember, I read you the invocation for the Lucis Trust on these special New Age holidays that they celebrate around the world, and all of these people, all together at the same time, on the same day, all chant this invocation. Creme says it's the very heart and core of the New World religion, and it will be the esoteric process of initiation. Gradually, Christianity and Buddhism and other religions will wither away as the new religion gains its adherents and exponents and is gradually built by humanity. End quote.
Thus, he tells us in this opera that the mysteries as we knew them are gone, but that society itself is now the place of initiation, that in the conspiracies of states and nations, in the tyranny of despots, and in the constant struggle for human life, man is passing through the subterranean passages of an initiation rite. And he now has a very wonderful and all-sufficient guide and leader in the form of Sarastro. Increasing knowledge, universal education, the public school system, and all these things. Imperfect, certainly, but imperfect only because man is willing to permit them to be that way. Because Sarastro can be merely a demagogue, as he represents education.